stream in reverence.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living Tuesday Healing Service. I am Sonia Davidson, staff minister at the Temple of Light. And I am honored to be with you this evening, especially at such a pivotal time in the history of our country. I know that you have chosen to join and brought with us to us your consciousness of love and light, and that we will just share these moments, feeling grateful that we can be expressing ourselves and sharing across the internet at this time, that we have light and we have internet and we can do this. So join me as we enter into a few moments of silence, followed by an affirmative prayer. I recognize one power, one presence, God, the living Spirit, Almighty, that one called by many names, that which is the creator of everything that is, that which is everything that is. Recognizing that each one of us gathered here this evening is an expression of that one. And through that one, we inspire, we fill each other's space in consciousness with a connection of love, harmony, light, and understanding. This experience we call a healing service unfolds with effortless ease in a natural and friendly manner, a manner which sees each one of us having something extraordinarily important to share and feeling free to share it, free to give of themselves, ourselves as channels through which the infinite speaks, knowing that the common bond is that which is magnified and energized as we enthusiastically go through this service moment by moment, this healing experience. This is the truth. I let go and I let it be so now. And so it is. So it is. Ah, people. Yes. I start with the words of Emerson, taken from our Richer Living. It says, people wish to be settled. It is only as they are unsettled is there any hope for them. Emerson is a very thoughtful and direct person. I leave that for us to contemplate. People wish to be settled. It is only as they are unsettled is there any hope for them. I guess to that people want to grow. We want to grow and we want to feel a sense of stability. But there is a divine nudge that is always impelling us to move forward, to be more, to experience more. And as we do, we outgrow our prevailing conditions, just as a lizard would outgrow its skin. As it grows, there is a little bit of discomfort because the stretching of the skin of the lizard makes it uncomfortable. There's a desire to be more, but there's a desire to stay with what we are familiar with and comfortable with. Ah, yes. So that little bit of analogy may be what's similar to what Emerson had in mind when he said people wish to be settled. We feel comfortable in what we know, but there is that inside of us that wants to do more, be more. But we want to do it on our terms. And in the process, we sometimes feel uncomfortable. There's an affirmation that follows that, also from Richer Living. There are no anchors in my world to fasten me to any one situation forever. I accept the ever-changing, ever-unfolding action of God in my experience. I accept the ever-changing, ever-unfolding action of God in my experience. And this goes well when we are doubtful of whether we are up to the changes that we are aspiring to. It also makes us feel uncomfortable when we have been placed plump into changes that we did not anticipate when we desired the changes that inevitably come to those times in our lives when we are making giant leaps forward in transformation. My father made me fall in love with every detail of this magnificent land of Jamaica. It took a lot of, effort. I won't call it trouble. At that time, I thought it was trouble, but it's effort to take us through various parts of, especially the north coast of our country, Jamaica. It drove us along from St. Anne's Bay to Montego Bay, just pointing out the beauty and the grandeur of what we saw. It would take us into interior, up into the deep, the highest mountain in St. Anne, which was Bamboo. And as we drove along, he just admired everything that was so wonderful that we, as children, it took us a little time before we said, yes, Daddy, yes, Daddy. But in time, we became as fascinated and as in love with Jamaica as he was. And it wasn't just the landscape. He found so many reasons to tell us how fabulous our people were, how strong. And there are the number of people you'd pass along the road, called out to him as a politician, by the way, but even before that, he just loved people. And he had lots of groups that he was leading. And they would call him Mass Sydney, and he called everybody in the country was Mass somebody and Miss somebody. And so there was a lot of love and respect, which we never took for granted. But we realized in later years how important that socialization was, to see the grandeur of our people just as much as the grandeur of our physical space, Jamaica. So, and you see, this was long before we became independent from Britain. He would speak to us daily, and long before there was even, perhaps there's a plan, but we were not yet fully independent. You know, the strange thing about life, and I'm speaking about my life, is that we take things for granted until when we don't see people and things for granted until we don't see them anymore. So we're looking out at the visuals, on the internet, looking at our landscape, the new Jamaican landscape, albeit temporary, I'm sure. I look hard to remember what it was like before. I'm stunned and try to remember the vivid, lush vegetation that had been given way to these whipped trees, very whipped trees. I look at the houses that once stood proud and see them flat. No vegetation around them. I remember the energetic, sparkling eyes of the loudmouth vendors on the roadside as we traveled from Kingston to various parts of the rural areas. I also remember the couldn't care less, practiced, nonchalant attitude of the Rasta orange vendor. I remember the swim seller on the roads to St. Elizabeth. All of these, I wonder, where are they now? And I cannot help, I must say, that tears come to my eyes, not so much for the loss, but for how boldly and bravely so many of our Jamaican brothers and sisters are standing up to the new condition, temporary, albeit that they're going through. I'm told that grieving that's collective has a different tone to it than individual grieving. There are advantages because there's a sense of oneness and collective experience that is comforting because we have each other to reach out to. But then there's also a feeling of helplessness that sometimes that we're not able to help each other as much as we want to. My understanding from the scientists is that amongst those persons who are experience part of this collective grieving, because that's what it is, are those who may be so directly affected by what's going on that without a lot of emotional help, we're not talking just about physical help, emotional help, they may spend years and years in that state of grieving and may never recover. So in my mind, hearing all of this, and some may take years, 10 years, 5 years, many may just take a year, 1/3 they say meant to take a year to come back to themselves. But even then, there is a self that may not be the self that was there before. So it makes me even more certain that there is a role for each one of us. Each one of us who consider ourselves light bearers because we are bound in that knowledge that whatever we see, God is present there. I know that for us, there is that added responsibility for us to see with our eyes, but know with our spirit that there is beyond what we see, that which changes not. So I am impelled always to look for a path to finding something which is so exquisitely beautiful in the presence, not necessarily sometimes through, but in the presence of that which pulls me towards sadness. It's a practice thing that I have to look for the good, to see God, to see good, look to pleasantness, look for a blessing. My mental programming whispers then shouts, yes, find something to engage your mind. Set out on a mission to find another language to interpret the experiences which make me feel uncomfortable so that I can create lasting memories of light. Even in the midst of what I may now feel as uncomfortable, I spend time looking for memories, to create memories of pleasantness, to look for good, to see God, to see good. And I encourage us all to do that. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who is the leader of the meditation movement that I follow and practice, says the mind always moves towards pleasantness, pleasant thoughts. So if we engage in pleasant thoughts, the mind is more ready to go in that direction than it is to follow that which is uncomfortable. And I believe that. So look to faith. This is a time when we have to be clearer as to what we believe. Be still and know that I am, which is God. My favorite statement, that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am. I am. And so we look to I am that I am that God. No, but who is God? We need to be very clear about who God is and our relationship with God. And therefore, we need to spend a lot of time. That is why our affirmative prayers start with God. God, and describe God as we feel God, as we see God. We spend time in the silence so that awareness can come to us from deep within. Our Declaration of Principles says that we believe in the unity of all life and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. So as we begin to that journey to become more and more established in our awareness of what we know that God to be and our relationship with God. God is all there is. God, the living spirit. God is goodness. God is, and I am that which God is. The more we become established in that, and the fact that we are united with all life, in addition to the gifts that we will send, the clothes that we'll send, the money that we'll send, and all of the things that we will do on the outer. In our being, we are also adding to that collective consciousness, that beingness that will elevate the persons who now need most to feel that goodness of God. They won't know that we are doing it. It doesn't matter, because when we are established in that awareness, we are also getting feedback from those persons who are strong and resilient and moving through whatever they have to move through. We fortunate ones now have the light, have the internet, we have the water. Yes, but there are others. So we also need to be bolstered by those who are going through it without those things. Strong, mighty people. Yes. So we are feeding each other when we are affirming light at in that particular way. Now, one of the things that I had to do, I found myself wanting to do. I remember Gilbert very well, and Gilbert was a very strong hurricane that left us for weeks and months without utilities. I don't think the internet was an issue that time. It left us without water and light. A very long time. But there is so much comedy and laughter around Gilbert, especially in the songs, that whenever I personally think of Gilbert, there is a little bit amusement in my, mind. But what I say to myself, what will I take away from Melissa, Melissa, Melissa? And by divine, I decided to go look for the meaning. I did not look for the meaning of Gilbert Long, while I look for the meaning of Melissa. And guess what? By divine synchronicity, the name that was chosen for this physically devastating hurricane brings to light by its meaning a promise of a brighter day. A brighter day. The word Melissa is of Greek origin, and it is bound up with Greek mythology. Melissa was a nymph, whatever that is. I think I know. Who was rewarded for her kindness by being turned into a bee. Modern science now supports the notion that bees are arguably the most important life form to us mammals, to living, not just the mammals, to living creatures, animals, and plants. So the name Melissa, it said, I won't go into the details. The bees are fantastic. It takes a while. I spent a lot of time studying what they do. It's a whole chain of bees that take the sap from a flower and pass it from bee to bee to bee, fanning this bee, this sap until it becomes more and more concentrated and eventually being presented to us as honey in a comb wax. I advise everybody to go and have a read. It is fascinating. And not only that, it ended up with honey, which is filled with nutrients. But the most important thing I want to leave, though, is that the name evokes qualities of sweetness, diligence, and nurturing, and community support. Community support. I would like to take away from this experience of what this hurricane is currently doing to my country or has done to my country. I want to take away it's done. So what I can do is create in my own mind an image of that out of which will come something greater, something more wonderful from this fabulous country, which is already so loved, so powerful, and so special. But it will take it to a greater notch as there is more, this quality of sweetness, of diligence, which is already there, and nurturing, which is already there, will extend itself to community so that there is more and more oneness, more collective togetherness than ever before. Yes, bees sting to protect themselves and their hives. They never attack us unless they feel threatened by us, right? Perhaps the environment that we lived in felt threatened. And the hurricane is just one of the ways in which it comes to be stabilized again, right? Yes, the bees, yes, through a complicated process of distillation involving generations of bees, right? Bring about the glory of honey. Jamaicans through generations have brought about an awesome country of wonderful, enlightened, strong, resilient people who are people who believe and trust in the Almighty God, whichever they may call us, who have gone through challenging experiences and gone through even more, right? We have gone through experiences that have led to positive outcomes through rewards, valuable lessons. Yes, I say that I look on the sting of this experience as something which, yes, there may be immediate pain, just as when a bee stings. But what comes after is like the honey, the sweetness, the benefit, the reward that is yet to come. If and when we do what we always do, focus our resources, focus on the fact of how great and wonderful a people we are, focus on the fact that there is a presence and a power which will take us through any experience and take us. So, friends, as we work through the sorrow and sadness and seeming overwhelming challenges we face as people, let us accept that there's no place where God is not. Therefore, we all emerge in the universal field of consciousness, which connects us to this who we wish to help, to those who we wish to help, to those who we are most palpable and potently connected through the effectiveness of what we know. We know we can shine the light of peace and love, abundance, power, and beauty on our beloved land. Look at it and see it. Remember it as it was. Remember it as it will become even greater. And we must keep that resolve even when our hearts cry out with compassion. We must create a vision of a Jamaica whose magnificent beauty, wealth, love, and influence reaches far beyond anything we have ever experienced in playing our part in enlightening the whole human race, as we have always affirmed. And through our affirmations, we have become a country so beloved. Yes, and we'll become even more beloved and respected, and even more important in helping to enlighten the whole human race. A man contains, as Emerson says, all that is needed to his government within himself. He is made a law unto himself. All real good or evil that can befall him must be from himself. We do not call evil anything other than the mistakes that we have made. And we know that that same law which permitted us to have what we call good is the law which allowed us to make the mistakes which will now take us out of this experience that we now call a disaster and take us to an even higher, more beautiful, physically beautiful Jamaica, more powerful and more awesome. May we in time come to think kindly, lovingly, and gratefully of the time that Melissa came to visit. And I say for us, let us imagine, let us affirm, let us be still and know that I am. And in all, as we know that I am, in the stillness and the affirmations, whatever comes out of it, let us document it in writing, because what we document, we can call it a journal if we want, what we document becomes more enriched and enlivened in our lives. So, I end with readings from Richer Living. Beloved, now are we sons of God. The kingdom of God is at hand. I inherit everything that belongs to this kingdom. The riches and the power and the glory of the kingdom are mine now. Today I enter into my divine inheritance. I have freed my thought from the belief that external conditions are imposed upon me by birth through inherited tendencies or race belief. I proclaim the freedom of my divine sonship. I possess the kingdom of God today. That's from Richer Living. And I ask us know. Yes, I know that in our hearts, I cannot speak for you, but in my heart at this moment, I am working on the grief that I feel. But at the same time, I am working affirmatively to take Jamaica, the vision that I have of Jamaica, to a higher place than before. I'm asking people, what responsibility? I'm asking, having spoken from my heart. Tell me, what gifts in consciousness are you ready to give to Jamaica now? Anyone, please help me, support me. I'm waiting. Aha.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi there. This is
Shauna.
Shauna. Hi, Shauna.
Hi,
Share.
so I was driving with everything you're saying. I feel similar. And it's for me. Whew, okay. I go to a center in Douglasville, and yesterday we have our little prayer call on Mondays, and I was sharing, that it's like for me, it's just really deep. It's deep acceptance. That's what it is. Deep acceptance. Because I told my prayer buddy that I know it's all God and it's all intelligence. And if God is intelligence, why is there just so much destruction and all of that? It hurts and loss of lives, and it just seems so violent, you know. And she told me that it was allowed, as it wouldn't have happened. And that for me really it it made me see the truth, even though I need deep acceptance of the truth, but I'm working on it. So I guess that may be the grief that you're talking about. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because it's similar. It was allowed. So it's just deep acceptance. It's not fighting against it because that creates some other unnecessary pains. But deep acceptance, this is, because you want to be enraged, at least I do, you know, but I'm like, because it just hurts. But it's deep acceptance. It was allowed, so I'm deeply accepting what it is and knowing that it is all God, it is all intelligence, and as you say, something beautiful. I just saw all light on that western part, as you were saying, and that's what I'm doing. I'm sending light to their highest consciousness because I am on that level too, where I try to think positive, so I'm sending light to their highest consciousness. That's what I'm doing, from my highest consciousness to theirs. And it's just going to go down and create that beautiful image that you described.
Thank you for sharing. We just saw something from George, but before I address that, you don't have to send it, just be it. Because once you're it, you're like you're in the depths of the ocean, and the ocean connects everywhere. So you be it, think it, feel it, know it, and everyone will, here and abroad, everywhere, will be part of the experience as well, right? That is a beautiful thing about what we know and what we have been taught. Yeah, thank you for that, right? Just keep knowing what you know and loving, being the loving, beautiful person that you are. Yes, George. Oh, yes, Shauna K. You said the ocean. Yes. Yes, we are the ocean expressed as a waves, and all of the people who we want to bless and who are now being uncomfortable because they're unsettled, right? As Emerson said, people want to wish to be settled, wish settled, but it's only when they're unsettled is there any hope for them. That's something to take into your quiet moments to contemplate. Um, George, you said faith. You said, uh, can you repeat that? It's in the chat. I can't see it. Do you want to say it? Speak it. You spoke about faith.
All right. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
So, the gift of faith, we are all interconnected. Melissa is a part of us. We are all a part of the divine creator unfolding in right, perfect order. And illusion might allow us to see it as a disaster. But for us, through consciousness, we know it's just a continuation of our spiritual unfoldment. I was listening to something today, and it said that when a volcano erupts, there's the lava, but after it cools, what comes out of the volcano is rich fertilizer for rebirth, to foster growth, to give a richer nature substance of life. So the passage of Melissa is for us to use faith to experience that richer substance of life.
Exactly. Exactly. Well said. And you took that analogy of the volcano. I took that analogy of the hurricane, but I don't want to go into the detail, but it is said that hurricanes are absolutely necessary for the earth to continue to have its beauty, its lushness, and it's a cooling experience. No, it's just like the bee sting, right? The bee didn't set us to sting us, but in if we interact in a way that is unfavorable, right, to us and the bees, we get stung. Yeah, but it's the same bee that's going to give us the honey. The same way with if we continue to treat the planet in a particular way, the hurricanes, which are meant to be moderate, relatively moderate, and allow cooling of the planet, to allow rich fertilizer to come from across the planet to nourish the Amazon, whatever you call it, forests and so on, all of that in a moderate way, they will now become more intense, like with our because of our treatment of the planet, right? So it's our relationship with the planet that is really resulting in what we see. But just the same, we must know that whatever comes, as long as there's life, there is the ability to rise up and have a better experience of life, to be even in the midst of all the painful experiences that we maybe think. After the pain, the sting cools, there is the honey, right, to experience. After the storm, there is that which needs to be dealt with. The storm will fade, but there are the people who are left behind will rise up, right? As long as we continue to affirm resilience, faith, and trust, there is a law that will provide us with it has provided us with the opportunity to do as we would like it to do for us. But that is what we need to think and be certain of within ourselves, know it as a fact, right? And as experience, so that this idea will spread throughout our land, throughout the world, right? And we have a beautiful, beautiful affirmative statement as our national pledge that some of you know it by heart, but I think it is a pledge that will come in very handy now as we look away from our own individual sorrow and realize that we, the people of this country, who have experienced this, even as other people around the world are experiencing some distress as well for different reasons. We know that together we can, if we know that there's a law that takes us at our word, takes us as we believe, takes us as we are willing to decree and to hold steadfast, we know that a law will bring about that victory peace. And I am not joking. We are all affected by it, because I can tell you this week, I really had to dig deep into myself, because although I had my light, my water, my internet, I have not been able to do any work in my office for 2 weeks almost. So it affected me in that way. And I'm sure there are other people are affected similarly, right? So I really had to dig deep into my faith, into my affirmations. I continue to do so, yes. Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend that this thing didn't affect me personally, other than my concern for what I see, happen to other people, right? But the faith, this is where the faith comes in, and the faith is not blind faith. It comes from knowing that there's a law that takes us at our word, what we declare and what we believe, and what even in the moment of our need to have more faith, when we declare the word, it will in time become what we believe and know for sure. Okay, so Mr. George has spoken and Shauna Kay has spoken. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak? Yes, I know you wish to speak, so let me see what time. Oh yes, we have time, please.
Well, my hand has been for a while.
Hand. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're such a good girl. Yes, please speak. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Karen.
I put in the chat hope, but I wanted to expand on that. Because we tend to think of hope as being, the opposite of faith.
Yeah.
When I do believe that hope and faith are interlocked.
Mhm.
And in terms of, well, I've been saying to everybody who will listen to me, that the hurricane does not come to harm us. It's not us it comes for. The hurricane is a magnificent force of nature. And so when people refer to it as a natural disaster, I don't think there's any such thing. If it's natural, it cannot be a disaster. The disaster is in our interpretation of it.
Yes.
It has a job to do.
Yes.
And its job is to cleanse and to cool and to create pathways for healing and restoration. That's the function of the hurricane.
Yes, and to spread nutrients.
And to spread nutrients. And I was saying, if we were a nomadic culture, we would just pitch up the tent and move out the way. But
Yes.
we're not a nomadic culture anymore. So
Well, who knows?
we're supposed to be, and then we call it a disaster.
Yeah.
But really, the hurricane's intention is not to harm. It's not to harm. And I think if we can keep that in mind, as difficult as it is, and I'm not denying that there's great difficulty that people are experiencing right now, but to keep in the forefront that there is a larger picture, a bigger picture that is unfolding as a result of what Melissa has brought. And we will rise again. We are surviving. And that's where the hope of a better now has to be surrendered to.
Yes. And one of the things that, the tangible things that has come out of this is the number of countries of various languages who have been just affirming goodness and love and appreciation for this little spot on planet Earth we call Jamaica, right? I think we never knew before how loved and appreciated we are. No?
Yeah, I mean, considering you can barely find it on the map.
Yes.
We are incredible. We are amazing, and it's just for us to recognize who and how we are. We are fabulous.
Yes. I think more Jamaicans are realizing now how loved we are, and more people who are looking for us on the map are realizing how small we are. I'm sure they thought it was a huge country until they started looking for it and couldn't find it. Yes. I truly realize that. Dawn, you always have something wonderful to say. Right? Thank you for that, Carol. Dawn, come on. And then I know Chima had something to say to Shannon. Yeah. Okay, Dawn, you're not ready to say anything. What about you, Chima?
Well, in this time, we just need to, whatever whenever you see the need and you feel the impulse or compelled to act, just do it because it's God. Um, it's God. It's God speaking to you. So you don't question yourself. If you feel compelled to act and to help someone or just yesterday I felt compelled to they were asking for some counselors for my daughter's school, and I was iffing and everything, but I just kept nigging them, just kind of, when something just kind of there in the back of your head, maybe I should, and then obviously I eventually decided, yes, I would go. I thought it was counseling, but lo and behold, it was the entire grade of my daughter's class, and it was over 100. I have never spoken before, but I was just compelled, and I know that was God in work, in God in action, because when I even went to the talk, the guidance counselor, we were wearing the exact same glasses, like exact same. She said, "By the way, you have the same glasses." I was like looking, and I was saying, "Oh my goodness." Well, probably, looks similar, but it was the exact same glasses. So, I got a little reaffirmation, like I needed to be there, just to speak to them and just to share my love. But it wasn't anything that I did on my own impulse. I just think that when you feel when you're nudged by the Spirit, just don't ask any questions. It is the right action. It is the right thing for you to do.
Mm-hmm. And how was it?
It was awesome. It was awesome. I was more pumped than there was 11th graders. I really was just pumped. I felt I could feel the love in the air. I could feel it, and everyone I didn't hear any sad stories. I did not actually. I heard uplifting stories. One child, she said that she a tree actually dropped on her house top, and she did not even know until after. And she was just in awe because, like, they were just like praising God and just thank God that that she was safe. It was in that kind of light. I never heard one sad story.
Mm-hmm.
So something just it's something in a meal where they could have said, oh my goodness, but there was just that air of goodness and gratefulness. I missed what something could have been tragic.
Right. So it bears out what Carol's really said. It's how you look at it, right?
Yes.
Yes. And these children, they have a lot of faith in that generation that's coming up, right? They were looking at it from point of view that you were able to recognize the joy and whatever positiveness in them. They're yeah. I have a lot of faith in all generations, but I'm particularly impressed by how this up and coming generation is able to confront what other generations might have called uncomfortable, right? Including the disaster. Yeah. So, okay, maybe it's because we as a country have really endorsed a lot of positive, affirmative things. We have an anthem which is so positive, right? And we have a national praise, which I'm about to read, right? Which if you know it, you can say it with me. So it's our national anthem, Jamaica. Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in the service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Isn't that what we have been doing? Is that how we will be in this moment, lifting the world, the collective consciousness of the world as a people, as we who have embodied this pledge, go through this experience. And as Shima says, do what you feel you're impelled to do. By all means, send money, send clothes, go down there, clean up, whatever. But throughout all of the doing, remember the being, and the being to know, I am the Lord thy God, I changeth not. No matter what there is on the surface, beneath it all is the Creator, the one that gave us life, the one that gave us this wonderful privilege to decree a thing and have it happen. The one that allowed us to choose how we would be and put the word in our mouth and know that it is all powerful. The one that I remembered when I was getting into a little self-pity about not having worked for 10 days, allowed me and continues, right, to allow me to affirm and know that that is irrelevant to God's word, God's word. God does not change. The Lord thy God, I change. So people, thank you for joining us this evening. And we're not quite finished because we have, if you wish, affirmative prayers. And if not, yes, is there any affirmative prayer that you want done? Yes, I haven't seen any for those who can read it. So I am going to, yes, is there any, you have a chance now before I go into an affirmative prayer of light for us who are here and for our people, okay? I saw something to the gift of faith, one new, whatever is that? What is that? Okay, no, anyway. All right, Shima, if you see any, you can read it out for me. I'm going to do a prayer of light. Okay, there's one power, one presence, one reality, one creator, one mind, one. That which we declare when we say, I am the Lord thy God, I change it not. I am that I am. I know it is that which, having created everything that we know, and that which we do not yet fully know or understand, but which is the creator of all. It is that which is coming forth into fullness in our consciousness at this time as Jamaicans, so that we may truly see and know that that which created us is always expressing through us. We are it in expression. And therefore, through this knowledge and this understanding, we speak affirmatively, we speak with confidence, we speak with assurance. Not only openly, but in our minds, our thoughts see and understand the presence of God in everything, in the rain, in the sunshine, in the breeze, in the hurricane, in all of the natural phenomena, and most of all, we see and know that God, living spirit, expresses in and through us, and that we take on that responsibility to see and understand the perfection and glory and beauty of God's presence everywhere, and watch in wonder as more and more persons upon this planet Earth profess the same, and that the conditions just harmonize and correspond to what we know and see as the beauty and goodness of God made manifest. This is the light that we know when we give thanks. We give thanks as I release my words to love and do that it is so. And so it is. Amen.
Okay, so we have a few. The first one was from Carol Campbell for hope. And then we have from Faith, from George, and Life.
Those are not treatment requests, Shima.
Statements.
Oh, they're statements. Okay.
Yes,
so
statement.
There's a treatment for peace of mind for Pauline and Jasper Roden. Is that true? Peace of mind
for Pauline and Jasper.
Yes, Jasper Roden.
Okay. So we have one treatment for peace of mind. Yes. Yes, for Pauline and Jasper. Okay, God is peace. God is all there is. Pauline and Jasper are the expressions of God. They are God made manifest. They are everything that God is. They are the ocean appearing as a wave of Pauline and Jasper. In the deep stillness within their being, rises to the surface, and their thoughts and their emotions correspond to that deep stillness. And in the stillness, they hear the voice of God, the intuition that says, I am the Lord, thy God, I change it not. Pauline and Jasper, the presence of God. Deep stillness, that which changes not, is the core of their being. Every thought, every word, every emotion expresses and reflects that tranquility, the deep harmony, that knowing, that security, that sense of security, that sense of deep connection to that which harmonizes, allows itself to be made manifest in every outer experience of Pauline and Jasper. Yes, right here and right now. Their consciousness, their beliefs, their understanding accepts that they are indeed the presence of God, the all-powerful, the almighty, the all-knowing, that which does, is, and ever shall be. This is the truth for which I give thanks and release my words, knowing it is so, and so it is. Okay. That's it, Gina?
I'm not sure if Dawn wanted a treatment for healthy life.
Yes, I think that's it,
Healthy
Dawn?
life, dot.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
She done?
Okay. So in this moment, we salute the power and presence of God, which chose to create out of itself the beauty and wonder of this body, mind, and spirit known as Dawn. We salute it knowing that it has already placed within her everything necessary for the fulfillment of every perfect outworking of every single physical, mental, and emotional state of beingness of Dawn. And I know in this moment, Dawn is accepting it, she's knowing it, she's feeling the nudgings and the earnings and of it. She's feeling it and knowing that the coordinated experience within every single cell of our body is a celebration of the harmony which exists within the entire universe, and that she is connected with everything that exists, which is just orderly doing its work, keeping everything in its place, every star, every planet, everything that we see and that we do not see. Every black hole, every dark matter, everything that exists also exists in and through and as the orderliness of the body, mind, and spirit known as Dawn. So I know that health and wholeness, being our natural state, is now fully manifest in a day-to-day experience and a moment-to-moment experience of Dawn. She feels it as energy and vitality with every step that she makes. Yes, it announces to herself the power and strength and energy. Every enthusiastic thought that she thinks is a reflection of her health. When she goes to sleep, she sleeps at peace and wakes feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready always to go about her waking business. She knows and senses the presence of God always in every muscle, yes, in every sinew, in every joint, in every aspect of her being. She celebrates that and gives thanks always, in every moment, being fully aware of her wholeness, her perfection, her health. Yes, I give thanks for her and for the health of God as Dawn. Thank you, God, that it is so. So it is. Amen. Yeah. We are there
Yes.
and we are after
That's
7. So
That's it.
yes, thank you. Do you have the announcements, Chima? Or are you able to share it? Or do you have
I
it?
think, right, Vance is coming.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he was with us. Thank you for being here, Vance. Okay. So, all right. So what do we have to announce? We do have and this healing service takes place every week. I don't know who will be there, but we know God will be there in whatever form we choose. Every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, same thing. And every Sunday morning at 9, we have our service. And please, I am pleased to announce that prayer power continues there every single Thursday. It continues at 6 o'clock. And we do have the forum at 7. TASE is coming up. There are a lot of activities coming up in December. And if you go to our website, you will see it. If we don't have it today, we apologize, but it will be available on our Sunday announcements. Yes, it will be available on the website when you go to look at the recording of the service. Yes. Is there anything else that all classes are going on now, but it's too late to join? But you can always join the forum at any time. All right. All right. So the prayer of Jamaica, you may unmute. I think it would be a very good thing. And for those of you who are here, and it's not that many of us, but please, the consciousness is important when we say it together. So the prayer of Jamaica. The radiant
And
light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. Can you go on? Can you move on to the next slide? All right. Can I see it? It's supposed to know it by now. All right. Can you move it up? No. Okay. Jamal? Rance, it's stuck? It's set free. All right. So those who know it by
Vance
heart.
is there.
All right. Go on.
Control.
Yes, it's all right. Just say it, Vance, and then we'll follow. It's set free.
It's on the screen. The light of God's
We're
love.
not seeing it.
We need to put the
We're not
10th,
seeing it.
the
You have
30th
to
slide.
scroll. Go
No,
on
but
the
it's-
next slide.
Slide 30.
I'm
It's you're not seeing it?
No, I'm
No,
not
the
seeing it. So
30.
you say it. You say it. then.
It's on the next slide.
Vance. Go
The
ahead. You
light
say
of
it.
God's love is
Yeah.
growing and glowing
Glowing
intensity
in it.
in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health,
Health,
harmony,
harmony, goodwill,
Peace,
uprightness,
integrity,
integrity,
joy,
joy,
prosperity,
kindness,
and our
and
oneness
under God are now
are now
established.
established.
And so it is. So it is. So it is. All right. Okay. So having said that, right, we will just allow ourselves to be grateful that we have been here together, that the power and presence which brought us together is enriching our lives in more and more ways, filling us with a giant step of hope which fills our entire country and allows the hope to be established in certainty, fueled by faith and a knowing that the power and presence which gave us life also has placed within us the ability to speak our word and to allow it to manifest, and to know for our individual lives, each of us, our lives are becoming more and more rich in the knowledge of the presence of God as us, so that we are becoming more enlightened, more of a presence of light in our world, in our immediate world as Jamaicans, but also in the wider world. So as we leave here now, we take with us that blessing and we spread it and fill our heart with love, so that every image that we see on the internet or elsewhere, or every story that we hear, we affirm the presence of God and watch in wonder and awe as the response is so immediate and so certain. We are light bearers, and within us is a light which shines into this world we call Jamaica. And at this time, yes, we accept it and we let go and let it be so. And so it is. Amen. It is. All right. Thank you guys for being here, and thanks, Vance, for silently in the background, always ever present to support us and allow us to have this. And thank you, Chima, for being